Every great cricketer has a beginning. Some are born into fame, while others build their legacy one challenge at a time. Faf du Plessis belongs to the second group. Calm under pressure, fearless in battle, and admired around the world for his leadership. Faf's journey is not just about cricket. It is about determination, discipline, and believing in yourself when nobody else does. Before millions of fans knew him as one of South Africa's greatest captains, Faf du Plessis was simply a young boy with an extraordinary dream. Francois Faf du Plessis was born on 13 July 1984 in Pretoria, South Africa, into a family that loved sports. Growing up, competition was a part of everyday life. Whether it was cricket, rugby, or athletics, young Faf was always eager to test himself. As a child, he wasn't the strongest or the fastest player on every field, but he possessed something far.
His school years played a massive role in shaping his future. He attended Afrikaanse Hoër Sand School, AFIS, one of South Africa's most famous schools for producing elite athletes. It was here that he met someone who would later become one of cricket's biggest superstars, A.B. de Villiers. The two classmates shared classrooms, cricket fields, and countless dreams. Few could have imagined that these young boys would one day become two of South Africa's most respected cricketers. While AB's natural talent attracted immediate attention, Faf quietly worked behind the scenes. He understood that success wasn't about being noticed today. It was about becoming impossible to ignore tomorrow. Outside cricket, Faf also loved rugby and other sports. Playing multiple sports helped him develop exceptional reflexes, athleticism, and mental toughness. These qualities would later make him one of the finest fielders in world cricket. Even during his teenage years, coaches admired his calm personality. He rarely lost his temper, never complained about difficult situations, and always accepted responsibility. Those leadership qualities would eventually define his international career. However, the road to professional cricket was anything but easy.
South Africa has always produced world-class cricketers. Competition for a place in professional teams was incredibly fierce. Every year, thousands of talented youngsters fought for only a handful of opportunities. Many gifted players gave up after facing rejection. Faf refused. Instead of becoming frustrated, he worked even harder. Early mornings were spent training. Afternoons were dedicated to improving his batting. Evenings were used to studying the game, learning from experienced players, and strengthening his mental focus. His philosophy was simple. You cannot control opportunity. Years passed before his dream of wearing the South African jersey came close to becoming reality. Unlike many future stars who burst onto the scene as teenagers, Faf's journey demanded patience. Every season became another test of character. Little did he know that those difficult years were preparing him for one of the greatest international debuts in cricket history, the rise of a warrior. Every champion reaches a moment when quitting seems easier than continuing. For Faf du Plessis, that moment arrived long before the world knew his name. The dream was still alive, but the road to international cricket felt endless. After finishing school, Faf entered South Africa's highly competitive domestic cricket system. It was here that dreams often collided with reality. Every province was packed with talented batsmen fighting for the same opportunity, a place in the national team. Unlike some future stars who made instant headlines, Faf's rise was slow and demanding. He represented the Northerns and later the Titans, where he built a reputation as a reliable middle-order batsman rather than a flashy entertainer. Runs came steadily, but national selectors already had an established batting lineup featuring legends such as Graham Smith, Jock Collis, Hashim Amla, and his childhood friend A.B. de Villiers. Breaking into that team seemed almost impossible. Instead of becoming frustrated, Faf embraced patience. He believed that every domestic match was another chance to improve. Every net session became an opportunity to sharpen his technique. While others focused on impressing selectors, Faf focused on becoming a better cricketer. To gain more experience, he traveled to England, playing county and club cricket. Those seasons away from home were invaluable.
English conditions tested every aspect of his batting. Swinging deliveries, overcast skies, and difficult pitches forced him to develop a stronger defense and greater mental resilience. Life overseas wasn't glamorous. Long bus rides, small crowds, modest accommodations, and endless practice sessions became part of his routine. Yet Faf never complained. He knew that every challenge was preparing him for something bigger. One lesson stayed with him throughout those years. Success belongs to those who are willing to outlast disappointment. Finally, after years of persistence, the opportunity arrived. In January 2011, at the age of 26, Faf made his one-day international debut for South Africa against India. For most players, reaching the national team is the biggest achievement of their lives. For Faf, it was only the beginning. He adapted quickly to international cricket. His calm temperament, sharp cricketing mind, and outstanding fielding impressed teammates and coaches alike. But the defining chapter of his career was still waiting. Late in 2012, South Africa traveled to Australia for one of cricket's toughest test series. Australia were determined to reclaim the #1 ranking, while South Africa wanted to prove they were the world's best test side. The series reached its dramatic conclusion in Adelaide. South Africa found themselves under enormous pressure. Chasing survival rather than victory, they needed someone capable of batting for hours against one of the world's strongest bowling attacks. That responsibility unexpectedly fell upon a man playing only his second test match. Faf du Plessis. Facing bowlers like Peter Siddle, Ben Hilfenhaus, Mitchell Starc, and Nathan Lyon, every bowl felt like a battle. The Australian crowd sensed an easy victory. Their bowlers attacked relentlessly. But Faf refused to surrender. Hour after hour, he defended with remarkable. The pressure slowly shifted. Australia began to realize that this debutant was not going anywhere. His concentration was almost unbelievable. Every run was earned through patience, courage, and absolute belief. Session after session, Faf stood firm. Finally, after more than 7 hours at the crease, he reached an unforgettable, unbeaten 110. The innings wasn't just a century. It was one of the greatest rearguard efforts by a debutant in modern Test cricket. South Africa successfully saved the match, won the series 1-0, and retained the #1 Test ranking in the world. Almost overnight, Faf du Plessis transformed from an unknown newcomer into an international hero. Cricket experts around the world praise not only his technique, but also his extraordinary mental strength. Former players described his innings as one of the bravest displays they had witnessed. His teammates had found a player they could trust in the toughest moments. Fans had discovered a new hero, and South African cricket had found a future leader.